Hello and welcome back to Dreamwalker Tarot. My name is Dawn and this is the December reading for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mars. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for post notifications. This month, I am using the Sibyl's Oracle of the Black Doves of Africa deck by Tiana Lee McQuiller. And this is a deck that works a little bit differently than traditional oracle or even tarot decks in the way that it is structured and the way that it operates. The deck is made up of 44 cards and is sectioned off into 4 different sections. So there's 11 cards in each section. And each section is specific in the way that it works or is related to the other sections. And so the first card, which is the top left, which is the black card, is considered the core issue that you will be looking at or facing or reflecting on this month. The top right card is considered the projection card, and the projection card is basically the justifications or the reasonings that you give yourself that block your ability to see how the core card is factoring into your life. It's like the mask that you put over the truth so that it's better to deal with, right? And then the bottom 2 cards are considered the action cards. The left card is the blue action or cool action, which is the thought process that you should kind of step into in order to process and step into the red card, which is the hot action card. And that is the actual action that Spirit is asking or suggesting that you should take to deal with the core and the projection. Got it. Good. I hope I explained that well. So, like I said, this is a little bit of a different way to, do these readings. And I decided to do it with this particular deck because this particular deck is specific to not just dealing with the outward manifestations of what is going on in our life, but really dealing with the internal manifestations or the internal feelings or issues that are actually that we're actually dealing with that turn into the physical manifestations of what we see. I hope that makes sense. What these cards are geared to do is for us to receive the information, reflect on how it is manifesting in our lives, realize what parts we're actually using or playing out in our lives, accept it, and then take the necessary actions to heal and move forward. So let's get into it. The cards that came out for you this month, Taurus, in the core issue is accumulation, and the projection is the mirror card. The action cards, the cool action is measurement, and the hot action is stillness, which is a weird hot action, but it's a hot action nevertheless. So intuitively, the presence of the accumulation card and the mirror card say to me, Taurus, this is the first thing that actually popped into my brain, is that you are more than what you possess, right? Accumulation of wealth, accumulation of things, accumulation of, all the accoutrement we need in life or we feel we need in life to make us look good, to make us feel good on the outside or how we appear in the world is great. This is the things that most people work towards their entire life. They work towards having the big house and the fancy car and having the money in their bank account and being able to travel and being able to just, spend, and money don't mean a thing, right? And just having these earthly possessions make us feel good because it makes us feel like we're working hard and we're doing what we have to do. And that is a great thing. But it feels like there's a mirror being placed up to you, which is, like I said, the projection card is the mirror card, as a way for you to really look at yourself as more than your possessions, and look deeper at yourself. This could actually be reflected back to you in relationships that you have with other people, where you see things in other people that you don't necessarily like, but it could be a reflection of you looking back at you. I'm going to go ahead and look at the book that comes with this deck to really get like a deeper understanding of what these cards mean. But off of the cuff, that is what I'm getting. The short message for the accumulation card is that all consume, but few thoroughly digest. And in this card, there is a representation of bees. The bees represent productivity, sacrifice, teamwork, focus, and order. Their entire existence is dedicated to accumulation for the sake of their community, and the bowl of fruit symbolizes the abundance of such efforts. It is rare to meet a person who is absolutely content with what they have, because people often feel that they could do more if they had more. This would be positive if they fully utilized what they had already accumulated and desired more to avoid the stagnation and boredom that inevitably leads to decay. In this scenario, the desire is healthy for a person's growth and development. However, if we want more without first using what we already possess, it leads to waste and greed. None need be reminded of the suffering caused by the inability to stop consuming more long after satisfaction has been achieved. However, having a sense of abundance is a byproduct of recognition, appreciation, and giving. In other words, you must notice the bounty that surrounds you, appreciate it, and contribute to the well-being of others in any way that you are able to. It is the failure to do this that is the cause of the bottomless bucket syndrome that makes people feel impoverished and never completely satisfied, regardless of how much stuff they have. Many of us become vexed and critical if we hear a wealthy person complaining about anything because we automatically associate accumulation with happiness, but contentment has little to do with actual quantity. The truth is, bottomless bucket types could be sitting upon heaps of gold coins, diamonds, rubies, emeralds, and sapphires, but still find a reason to sigh listlessly for just one more something. Consider this. Will making more or having more really make things better in your life? Are you faking contentment because you're too afraid to ask for or seek for more? And is your plan to get more morally and ethically sound? Do you fully appreciate and use what you already have? And are you upset or angry that someone else is asking you to contribute or give more, even if their request makes sense? Are you okay, but are you just being greedy? Do you know exactly what it will take for you to feel fulfilled? The projection card is, again, the mirror, and that the projection cards represent the rationalizations or justifications that you are using that are preventing you from seeing the core issue, which is, again, accumulation, right? So these are the comfortable masks of excuses that are placed on the truth that, if they are not removed and worked out, will eventually cause unnecessary internal suffering and possibly external hardships. The key line for this card is, how one lives is their only face. And the key symbol here, which is the mirror, represents self-knowledge and physical and spiritual reflection. Everyone who has ever looked at themselves in a mirror is aware that the image reflected back is reversed, but never do we question if it is really us. In fact, if we saw someone looking at themselves in a mirror, holding up their right hand and insisting it was not really them because their mirror reflected their raised left hand, we will call them crazy. Yes, intelligent people do this every day when they fail to see how situations reflect the mind of the perceiver. I must point out that this is only an accurate statement when the situation reflects something oppressive or otherwise negative. Strangely, the same individuals will readily acknowledge that a situation reflects them if they perceive the situation to be fortunate or otherwise positive. It is only when we acknowledge that whatever is occurring in our lives has its origin in us that we will cease living in denial and grow by taking full responsibility for the good, the bad, and the ugly times. If you get the mirror card in a reading, it is highly unlikely that you have a clear awareness of how your words and or actions have created the circumstances that you are now experiencing, for better or for worse. If you continue along this course, you may end up placing blame on someone or something else, or not giving yourself the credit that may be due if you have been in some way rewarded. In either case, you will miss a golden opportunity to learn what works or what doesn't work for you. If you have already discovered the origin of the matter within your word or deeds, then this card is letting you know that there is a critical point that you have missed. Review the core issue card again. I think ultimately here what it is saying is that you really have to take a deeper look at your relationship with your money, your finances, your wealth, and the position that you're in. If you are being greedy, like if you're just trying to possess just for possession's sake, if these are things that you need, because it does seem to have like the sense of like accumulation of things just for the accumulation purposes, or just for the visual appeal of it all. And sometimes there might be people in your life that are explaining to you that these are aspects about you that they don't like, and you are completely unaware of how you look to other people in the state that you're in currently, right? So if this is something that is creeping up in your relationship, is kind of like an incessant need for finances or for things or for money or the coin or the dollar bills, y'all, then if this is something that is an issue, it is something that you need to look at. Like, what is your relationship with money? What do you feel like you will become with the more that you have? And what is this insatiable desire that you have to possess the things that you want to possess? There is usually the understanding that when people are constantly in search of something, there's something missing within themselves. And so this is really a time to kind of sit and reflect, to look at what it is that this relationship with things means about you and your relationship with yourself. Or if you feel like you're worthy, if you may feel like you are not worthy if you don't have. And so there's an attachment to your own personal value and your own personal sense of worth in this world based on the amount of things that you can have. And I feel like that is a very dangerous thing, because you are not your possessions. You are far more than that. And so this is something that you need to look at. And like I said, with the mirror card here, this might be something that you're completely oblivious to, but it might be manifesting itself in the nature of the relationships that you have. Let's move on to the action cards. So the action cards, again, are separated into two types. The cool action card, which is the thought process that goes into the hot action, which is the actual action. So the card here is being illustrated by the abacus, which is the symbol in the card. I don't know if you can really see it, but it's the abacus. So the abacus is an ancient way of counting. It represents higher intellect, precision, and perfection. For without the ability to measure accurately, without mathematics, the architectural marvels of the ancient world could not have been constructed. And this card means, how much does this mean to you? If you can do without it, then stop struggling and let it go. If it is important to you and worth the struggle ahead, then pursue it. So this is asking for you to really think and consider what is important to you, what is worth the struggle, what is worth the work, what is worth all this energy and effort that you're putting in. Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for other people? Is it worth it? If it's not worth it, then let it go. But if it is worth it, then continue. The high action card actually really makes me laugh, because the high action card is the action that you are required to take, and that is stillness, which is completely counterintuitive to the last card that came out. But I think it's funny because with the accumulation card and the measurement card, you're asked to really measure what it is that you do need and what it is that you don't need. But the mirror card is saying that your perception of this is a little bit warped, right? And so even though the cool action card says to really measure out, what should you follow this path? Should you not follow this path? If it's important to you, then do it. If it's not important, then just accept it. The action card that came out was to be still. And the card says action would not be productive right now. Maintain self-control by reminding yourself that waiting is not doing nothing. Make a move when a meal is certain. Until then, be quiet and observe like a good hunter. The key symbol in this card is represented by the crocodile, and it says crocodiles do not normally chase their prey. They are patient and can wait for hours, days, or even weeks for the opportune moment to strike, and they can survive a long time without eating. So ultimately, what Spirit is saying is that you might feel the need or desire this month to kind of get more. But if it is not something that you absolutely need, then don't do it. Wait. You want to make sure that you're moving in a way that is ethical, that is moral, and that you aren't biting off more than you can chew, so to speak, just for the sake of having. You want to kind of temper and monitor your level of greed and the way that you are moving in this world, because accumulation and having things is great, but if you don't use the things that you already have, then you don't need more. Okay, so that is just something for you to think about this month, Taurus, and also to think about moving forward for 2022. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that this message helps you in some way. Please comment below. Let me know how this is working out or manifesting in your life currently. Like the video and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for post notifications. Thank you so much again for being here, Taurus, and I will see you soon.